Live from across the tri-states, this is KHQA This Morning. It's your news now.
Jan Hummel with Adams County Safe Kids Adams County joins us this morning to talk about pool safety. It's a little cool out here this morning. Tegan's just saying maybe 90 tomorrow. So we want to go ahead and talk about kiddie pools.
Well, what we have in front of us is one of these tiny little pools that you think of for that toddler group, that 1 to 2 year old. And the problem is that even in an inch of water, a child can drown. And the younger they are, the more likely it is to happen because their body situation is such that they're top heavy. So a child falling over in this is not going to easily be able to get back up.
They're top heavy.
They're top heavy. So you and I, we just lean back. With a small child, they can't do that. So this is true not just in your pool, but in any, in the bathtub. And in anything else that you might have. This time of the year, because we've had so much rain, it's likely that people might have the bird bath pieces sitting on the ground, they might have buckets, they might have anything else, and this is what we're concerned about with this very young age group. And of course, the whole thing with young children is to just, supervise them.
Sure. What have we done wrong with this particular pool? If you can tell, it's rather full.
Yeah, it's filled to the brim.
Well, it's filled to the brim, which makes it even more likely that the child could drown because you have that much more water. The other thing is that in our case, we are standing very close. But this is the kind of situation where somebody could come out this morning and find that their pool that they had emptied now has an inch of water. I don't think we had that much rain overnight, but over time that can occur. So what you should do is when you empty this pool, which you should always do, and then that's of course not to attract mosquitoes,
a whole host of other problems,
a whole host of other problems. But what you should do, tip it over. It's very simple. And a lot of people have those 5-gallon buckets, or you have the bucket that you use to wash the car. You washed the car yesterday, you left it sitting out, there's a little bit of water. I won't fit in there, but your 1-year-old, your 2-year-old, those kids that are just starting to
And they're so curious at that age.
They're so curious and they're so fast. In a blink of an eye, they're there. And they're in there and they can easily drown because they simply are top heavy and they can't get up. So what you do, you tip this over, you tip it up somehow to ensure that it is not going to collect water. And then of course it's all about, not leaving kids unattended.
Sure. Supervision.
You got
And
it.
we're not done with you yet. You're going to hang out with us for our next half hour and give us some more safety tips as well. Back out on the patio with our friend Jan Hummel from Safe Kids Adams County, talking pool safety. And we talked a little bit earlier about the kiddie pool. We want to kind of broaden things out now to larger pools. In fact, in cities like Quincy, they have ordinances that if you have a pool, you have to maintain certain safety aspects of your property. What are some of those here in Quincy?
The city ordinance for pools in Quincy is that if you have a pool that is 2 foot deep or deeper, then you must have a 4-foot high fence, and that's 4 foot high from the top of the pool. It also has to have a locking gate on it, and that's of course to ensure the safety. There's some other things that we would like people to do. That would be to have the door to the pool that be alarmed, and of course that you be prepared for all types of emergencies. In this day and age, when you are out with the kids or even adults in the pool, make sure somebody has their cell phone. Make sure you have that equipment. Kids always laugh and say, oh, that's a funny looking thing there. That is to throw to people so that you can drag them out because you don't want to jump in after them unless you absolutely have to.
Now, what is the most important thing parents need to be looking for when they're thinking about pool safety?
The most important thing is to supervise, and I think this is especially true even when you're at a pool where there's lifeguards. It's my job as the grandmother of those kids to not just be there sitting, visiting with my friends and reading my book. It's to keep an eye on my own children. And so that's true in a public pool or a pool where there's lifeguards. It's extremely important when you're at home. Make sure that if someone's in the pool, that there is someone with them, whether it's you and I at the pool or whether it's young children. So supervise. Make sure that there are barriers between anyone and the pool, and then that you're prepared for emergencies.
No doubt when people go swimming, they go to have fun.
Exactly.
And it's important to have fun and enjoy yourself, but how important is it to respect the water, whether it's in a pool or a lake or a river?
That's why we want people to have their kids have swim lessons starting between the ages of 3 and 4. We want them to enjoy the water, but we want them to respect it. and understand that this has dangers too. So I know it's fun to roughhouse in the pool, but those are the kinds of things that, you know, as a parent you need to try to limit and make sure that kids understand why you can't be throwing each other around and why you need to only dive into water that is a certain depth, and why you usually need to jump feet first.
Sure.
And I
If you can't
really
see the
love
water.
that line, respect the water, because it is playful, but it's definitely a beast that can take you over if you're not being safe.
That's exactly true, and people think that's more true in open water, but with pools themselves, you know, again, when you're around the water, respect it, enjoy it, but respect it and be prepared for whatever emergency might arise.
And there it is. It's a simple kiddie pool, looks fun, but just respect that water so you don't end up in the emergency room. Jan Hummel from Safe Kids Adams County, thanks so much for your information. More tonight at 5, 6, and 10.